Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been a while again, but I was busy and I moved, as you can probably tell. So this is my September TBR video, and I only have 6 books, so we can rattle through them pretty quickly. First, I'm going to read To Sir Philip with Love by Julia Quinn. This is, I think, the 5th Bridgerton book, and it follows the Bridgerton child Eloise, who she takes up a correspondence with this widower and decides that it would be in her best interest as an old maid who likes reading and financial stability to marry this man she's never really met. And then she shows up at his house ready to engage in this sort of arrangement that they have, but then they fall in love, of course, because it's a romance series. So you probably know Bridgerton because it's been turned into a very popular Netflix series, and I have read the first 4 books now, and I can't remember the names, but I read them, and they're cute and funny, and sometimes you just need cute and funny and predictable, and that's okay. Next, I want to read Tower of Thorns by Juliette Merlier. This is the 2nd book in the Blackthorn and Grimm trilogy. I read the first one because it was on Ashley's Patreon book club. It was a Patreon book club read, so I read it for that. I got it from the library, and it was really good, and I'm currently on hold for Tower of Thorns. So it said it was like an 8-week wait, but I think it might become available to me in September, so here's hoping. I really enjoyed the first one. Blackthorn and Grimm are prisoners of this powerful dude who sucks. Can't remember his name, but he's bad. It's set in early medieval Ireland, but a fantasy version where there are fae folks and other magical stuff happening. So she gets a deal from a fae guy, can't remember his name either, and it's that she does something, I think, for 7 years, and so she and Grimm, who escapes with her, move to this place in the north whose name I've also forgotten, and sort of become entangled in this plot of the local prince being engaged and his bride arriving, but on the way there she suffered a terrible tragedy, and it seems to have changed her personality. So it was really interesting. There was a twist that I had seen coming, but there was a secondary twist that I had not seen coming as much. And so I am really intrigued to see how this series continues. I'm not sure if some of the characters we encounter in the first book will carry into the second book, but I mean, I'm hoping to find out. So I'm hoping whoever has it in the library line in front of me gets through it quickly so I can read it. Then I want to read 9 Perfect Strangers by Liane Moriarty. This has been on my to-read pile for a while, number one, because I love Liane Moriarty. I've read, I think, 3 or 4 of her books. 3 or 4. I've definitely read Big Little Lies. I've definitely read The Husband's Secret. I've definitely read 3 Wishes, and I feel like I've read another one, but I can't remember what it is. And I loved them all. So I'm really excited to get into 9 Perfect Strangers. I do also want to watch the Amazon Prime TV show of this, but I don't want to watch it until I've read the book. And since 9 Perfect Strangers, the TV show, has been out for a while, I think it's really time for me to get into it. So I'm on to that. And I can't remember much of the plot apart from there are 9 people, they go to an idyllic retreat, and the person in charge of it is kind of weird. And I know that the person in charge of it, I think in the TV series, is Nicole Kidman, who was, of course, in the adaptation of Big Little Lies, and she was brilliant in that, at least the first season. I haven't seen the 2nd season, but I liked what I saw. So I'm hoping that both the book and the TV show are as good as the Big Little Lies book and TV show. Then I want to read King of Crows by Libba Bray, and yes, this is a reread for me, but I've been wanting to reread the Diviner series for a while, and then Ashley started her like diviner's read along because she'd never read it and she'd been meaning to read it for a long time, and I thought it was the perfect opportunity for me to reread along with her. It was another one of her Patreon book club things, and I did get the Alima Crate editions because I do have the first two in hardback, but throughout the series there have been two separate cover changes, and so the first one is absolutely gorgeous, the second one is meh, and then books 3 and 4 are blue. So I do have the first two in hardback and then 3 and 4 in Kindle editions, and they're also available as audiobooks from my library, so I've been listening along. But I did get these beautiful Alima Crate, no, it's not Alima Crate, it's Fairy Loot, it's Fairy Loot editions, and I don't have them to show you because they are all in boxes right now. All of my books are in boxes, that's why I can't show you anything, so you're just looking at my hands. Sorry, not sorry, I guess. But King of Crows is the fourth and final book in the Diviner series, which I love. I read them all when they came out, and I've been meaning to reread them for a while. I've been doing a sort of Libba Bray reread. I've reread, I should say, Beauty Queens and the Gemma Doyle trilogy all in the last few years, and so it was time to reread the Diviners, and I'm so glad because they're even better than I remember. They're better on a second reading, in my opinion. I love Libba Bray so much. She is my favorite author, one of them, and I'm so excited to finish the series again. And then another series reread I'm doing is the Shades of Magic trilogy. So I am rereading A Gathering of Shadows, which is the second in the trilogy. I reread the first book in the series, I think last month, maybe? I can't remember. I don't know. But I did, and it was also as good as I remembered, if maybe not a little bit better. There were definitely some details that I had completely forgotten, even though I only read this series in 2020. So it hasn't even been that long. I think it was late 2020 as well. So it's pretty recent, but I really enjoyed it. I kind of feel like V.E. Schwab's adult books are an adult version of Libba Bray, because Libba Bray writes young adult fiction, and V.E. Schwab also writes young adult fiction and middle grade, but I don't think those have the same kind of Libba Bray vibes that her adult fiction does. I'm not sure if that makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me, and that's what's important. And then my final book is another V.E. Schwab book, and that is Bridge of Souls, and it is the third and final book, I think final, in the City of Ghosts? No, what's it called? The Cassidy Blake trilogy. There we go. The main character is Cassidy Blake. So the first two are, so Cassidy Blake's parents are ghost hunters, and they have a TV show where they travel to different cities that are very haunted. What they don't know is that their daughter, Cassidy Blake, can actually see ghosts, and she has a ghost best friend who I think is named Jacob, but I can't remember. In the first book, they go to Edinburgh. The second book, they go to Paris, and I think the third book is in New Orleans. So essentially, Cassidy finds these other ghosts and goes on scary adventures, but it's middle grade, so it all turns out fine. And she and her ghost best friend make other friends, and it's all fun and jolly. And so I would really like to finish this series, and it's a pretty short book as well, and I've been listening along to the audiobooks on Scribd, and I think I can knock this one out in a day, which is what I did with the other ones. I think they were a day or two each. I think I can do that while trying to put my home together into something that is slightly more than just livable, because that's what it is at the moment. I'm living out of boxes. I have about 3 shirts and 5 socks, and it's just a constant battle of laundry so far. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. I am happy to be back. Please do like and subscribe if you are so inclined, and I will hopefully be back soon with another video. Bye!